Just visit the new CalgaryHerald.com with more of everything worth knowing.
Most of my world isn't about singles because the only time single even comes into it for me is on country radio and on CMT.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an anomaly for me to be on country radio with singles to begin with because it's kind of a quirk, and I'm happy they play us. I'm thrilled, but because it reaches rural people, which is important to me. But I never really expected to be played on country radio anyway because I'm kind of weird.
For a lot of people, Tabor's Corb Lund is a good times honky-tonk player, best known for his folksy, quirky humor. But songs like The Truck Got Stuck only show one side of this versatile performer, as we learned when Lund sat down with the Heralds Heath McCoy at the Ironwood Grill.
When I make a record, it's kind of a crapshoot for us to figure out what the single will be because my stuff is so far removed from what's normally played on mainstream radio that we have no real idea what that world's going to pick up on out of my stuff. And sometimes they pick up on stuff that we had no idea they were going to pick up on, right?
Okay.
Like I would have never thought that a talking blues song like the truck song would get on the radio, but it did. So in answer to your question, it's kind of a crapshoot which one we put out. We just put one out and see if they like it.
It doesn't sound like it bothers you that much. You sort of let them.
Yeah, you can't get hung up on that. I mean, my career's never been based on
No, it hasn't.
charts and stuff. I mean, it's great when we get it, but I'm primarily a live guy.
Well, I'm long gone to Saskatchewan, long gone to Saskatchewan. If you're getting good, if you're getting gone, I'm gonna put my boots and my hat back on, cause I'm long gone to Saskatchewan.
I guess the first single is Long Gone to Saskatchewan.
Now, it's 1.5, single 1.5.
You look into it, this is I'm a Saskatchewanian here. How come you keep beating up on Saskatchewan?
I'm not. That's a pro Saskatchewan song. Yeah.
I thought it was like Long Gone Saskatchewan.
No, Long Gone to Saskatchewan. It's about Alberta ranchers who can't afford a rancher anymore, so they go to Saskatchewan.
Oh, okay. That changed. Okay.
They loved it in Regina.
Did they?
We debuted it at the folk festival. They went nuts.
Is that to make up for the cracks in Hurt in Alberta?
Well, I have to play the last verse. The last verse is well, I've been coming out, bringing my t-shirts and singing to my good eastern neighbors so long. They put up with dumb jokes about the province, and so I figured, hey, I owed him a song, right?
Lund is in town Saturday night for a gig at the Corral to support his latest album, Losin Lately Gambler.
Tell me about This Is My Prairie. What's that song about? How did you come to write it?
That's a tricky one. There's a few elements to it. Well, the ghost of Weibo Ludwig looms in the background a little bit,
Is that right?
But it's
got to be the.
But it's very tenuous. I mean, in no way did I set out to write a song about him or his thing. But I mean, it's about that type of thing, and it's interesting to me because of the tension that's growing in Alberta between the oil and gas people and some of the old school landowner guys, the ranchers. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting to me because the ranchers tend to be pretty conservative in their politics, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me how much a lot of them are actually lining up with a lot of the conservationists in terms of, in a sense, generational ranchers are some of the original conservationists, right?
Sure. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
The key line in that song is, it's interesting, there's a parallel between this song and my last record because in the last record I had to make a really strong distinction between supporting the troops yet potentially not agreeing with the mission.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The key verse in that song is the one about how you can't blame the riggers of the guys driving trucks for feeding their families and making a buck, right? Because you can't really blame, I bet you half my audience are riggers, and my brother's a rigger, and I got 6 buddies that work on the rigs. Yeah. And you can't blame those guys, and I'm not trying to. It's not them, it's the system, right?
Uh-huh.
But the point of it is that I think, I'm not anti-petroleum in any way, and the writing's on the wall. Eventually, we're going to move away from it. But for the time being, I'm not naive about it. We all drive cars. But at the same time, I think we really do need to have our government take a little bit closer look at which parts of the province are getting dug up and which aren't.